Hi, Joe.
Hi, Bill.
This
How
has
are you?
been
Good
a
morning.
fun half an hour.
Listen, I know you guys asked me to come in and talk about the budget, but I wanted to talk about waterboarding instead. What our policy.
Doesn't this make your 5.4% tax increase seem a lot better?
No, you know what? It's look, you guys bring a good show, and it's a good topic, to discuss, especially the New Hartford thing. I mean, like I always tell you, my wife's a school teacher, and
She's overpaid, Joe.
I agree. Believe me. I mean, I can't tell you how much I agree.
Yeah.
I'll be waiting for my phone to blow up.
Yeah, you're going to be in big trouble.
Or the lock's changed.
I don't know where you're sleeping tonight.
That's right.
Okay, let's talk about the budget quickly, and I want to get on to Remington Arms, and that's not your thing, but you guys were close to vetoing this. You needed a 60%. Technically, you needed 5 members. How many?
Supermajority.
A supermajority of the board.
Is 6 people.
6
of 9, and only 6 people showed up to the council meeting, the special meeting. It wasn't really conducive to the public showing up, which is unfortunate, being at noon on a Monday. But 3 of the members that have historically kind of sided with the mayor decided not to show up, and it kind of left us in a bind.
Why the special meeting Monday at noon when don't you have council meetings on Tuesday nights?
We have them on every other Wednesday. So we were in between meetings, and we're state bound by March 31st to pass our budget. So special meetings generally come after vetoes. And this mayor's really been, veto heavy over the last 7 years that I've been in there.
So a 5.4% tax increase, which will begin in April.
Right. Essentially, the mayor raised taxes twice in 3 weeks. That's basically what happened.
I would say, though, this for you politically, the mayor now owns this tax increase.
Yeah, I mean, I suppose, but I genuinely look. I've been from this administration and people in City Hall. I've been accused of running for mayor for 7 solid years. And I understand the comments. I understand the questions about myself and possibly going to a different position. The fact remains is that I voted consistently for 7 years. It had nothing to do with politics. But this, no, for sure the mayor owns it. And I think he's owned it for, every budget. Every budget, we go in as city taxpayers and we get threatened with bankruptcy. We get threatened for bond rating decreases. And every year we have a surplus and a bond rating goes up. So, they're using $750,000 to, of our savings, essentially. They call it fund balance. It's our savings account. They use $750,000. We as a council wanted to take $300,000 more of that dollars out of the mayor's hands to do whatever, frankly, he wants to do with it because there's extra money in the budget. So we tried to get it through. We passed it originally on the original day. We came back to try to override his veto because he just was hell-bent on getting the money back in. And
you failed.
We were short.
You failed. Okay, I want to ask you this. Sure. Some would say this was a pretty brave move on the mayor's part. Nobody wants to raise taxes. That Mayor Palmieri took a very difficult step. According to the comptroller, took the right step. Taking out of the fund balance would have been a real problem. One might call the mayor brave here, that even though this would make him look bad, no one likes taxes, that he bit the bullet and he did what he felt was right for the city. How do you respond to that?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I think bravery is protecting your taxpayers and not yourself.
Okay. I
really do. I don't think that bravery is raising taxes. I mean, I think that that's an easy way out. Cutting expenditures, holding the line on what you're doing, that's bravery. I mean, that is what I consider bravery, not just grabbing money from taxpayers. That's the easiest thing in the world to do.
You would have had you guys went in and cut though, and you got it down to what? What would the increase have been?
Yeah, it would have been, as of a couple of days ago, it would have been 4.4. I mean, we had cuts on the table at the initial meeting to go down to 1.6%. Based on errors and based on other, but the council seen fit to vote on. Someone asked me the other day, "Are you upset that a few of your amendments didn't pass?" Every one of my amendments passed. They voted no on their own. But we had it down to.
Can you explain that?
Yeah,
so
sure.
Several members of the council had amendments. You were among them.
Right.
They were approved. They were accepted by the council.
Right.
It got to a point where the tax increase was down to 4.4%. Then other members of the council, who you describe as often siding with the mayor,
correct,
literally said, "Can we have a timeout here?" Went in the other room and came back and said, "Okay, we don't want to move forward with our amendments." Is that correct?
Yeah, essentially they took a break and
Why
they regrouped.
Would they do that?
I think that they needed to kind of look again when you're not there, when you're not paying attention, and these members that took the break were not there. They weren't there in the dozens of meetings that we held in the community and in our room. So they weren't there. They had no idea what was coming.
Were they completely unaware of what was happening?
They were absolutely unaware.
So they took a break, went out and said, "What's going on?" And were told, "You can't be doing this."
Hey, listen, here's what's happening.
Yeah.
Right. So it was that night that so I don't even understand what this process is for. But yeah, that's essentially what happened. They had no idea what was happening. They had to be told what was happening, and they said, "Hey, listen, guys." The mayor doesn't want these cuts. I think you're going to have to put a break on it.
Yeah.
And essentially, and that was at a point when they were starting to vote on their recommendations. I mean, real legitimate cuts. Guy will be here for $5,000. We don't need to pay him. They left it in the budget. Two police officers were double tapped on their raises. They're not going to get that money, but they left that in. So, when I asked what they're going to do with the money, they said, well, we're going to put it in the salt and other things that you cut. I said, well, what's the point of this then? If
is there a surplus in the making here down the road? A big announcement of a surplus.
One or two things, and I have my crystal ball. I just didn't bring it with me. One or two things, in my opinion, will happen. We'll either have a surplus or we'll have very generous negotiations with contract settlements in the coming year, so that it can all be a big, bright, shiny headline to say, look at how great I did.
Right.
Because there is extra money without a doubt in this budget. And if anybody says I'm political and if anybody wants to challenge that from City Hall, I beg them to bring me the numbers. And
that would probably come sometime around next year.
Perhaps. I'll do it right now, this year.
Yeah. Well, I'm only saying, though, it would, if you're strategically saying the mayor is doing this for his own political purposes, it would land somewhere in January, February, March, where it would be the potential of kicking off a re-election campaign, I guess. Is that what you're implying?
Well, no, I'm not implying it. I'm actually saying it. I'm saying that there's more money in this budget than needs to be there. So there's either going to be a much lower tax increase that there should be next year, or there's going to be some very hefty announcements coming in with financial benefits to anyone besides taxpayers.
Joe Marino.
As cordial as I could put it.
Benefit anyone.
Anyone but a taxpayer.
Taxpayers. All right. Joe Marino, we appreciate it.
Guys,
sorry for the wait.
Thanks so much. No, that's okay. I enjoyed listening.
Let's
Thanks
talk
so much.
abortion, can we?
That's right.
No?
That's right.